Hi, my name is Mohamed Mohamed. Currently, I'm a senior at High State studying international relations and political science. I'm from Somalia. My story starts in Somalia with my family, where after the war we came to Kenya first and then Tanzania. And I went to school in Tanzania where I went to primary school there. Uh, from there I had to learn the Swahili language, like many people there. That's where my story starts in Tanzania. Before I came to the United States, I lived in Zambia, Lusaka, Zambia, briefly between '98. I came to Columbus, Ohio in 1999, where I went to school next year in Northland High School. From there, I had to learn the English language all over again because in Tanzania, the schooling focused solely on Swahili language first. But when I came to the United States, the first challenge, the first barrier was the language. I had to relearn everything. But for me, I was very young when I came there, along with my siblings. So it was the first challenge. I had to push myself extra hard. I remember after school, like walking to the library, Northern Lights Library every day. I was new in the country, so the only thing I did was read books. I didn't take no ESA class because I told myself I need to challenge myself, and that way I can excel a lot better. At school, there are a lot of challenges because there are a few Somalis there, and there's a big clash between Somali students and other students because nobody understands each other. Somalis came to the school with different culture, they spoke different language, so nobody understood each other. There was no animosity between one another, just plain nobody understood each other. Then I went to Canal Winchester High School where the environments were a lot different. I was the only African student there, and the only Somali student there, so the assimilation and transition there was a lot smoother because a lot of people want to know more about African people, Somali people, and I was the only student there, so it was a lot easier compared to going to school at Northland High School where there are a lot of Somalis there, a lot of Africans. I started to involve myself in the community the last 4 years when I went to college. I told myself the only way for me to better myself as a person is to be involved in the community in my extra time, because with the youth, we have a lot of time, and that's when the problem starts. When you have a lot of time, you can be persuaded to do things negatively. For me, the only thing I did was I tried to volunteer a lot in the community, stay positive, because the Somali youth in America are under microscope by the media because you hear so many Somalis being indoctrinated to join terrorist organizations back in Africa, and I fit the stereotype of that Somali youth. But I want to tell everyone the majority of Somalis are not like that. Those things you hear in the media are just small pockets of things. Even when I go to mosques, when I go pray, I don't hear no sheikh or somebody come to me after prayer telling me you have to do this and that. The stories here in the media is probably isolated. For me, I involve myself with a lot of youth who are doing a lot of things in the community. For example, right now, there's a famine and a drought going on in Somalia, and I've seen countless of Somali youth going fundraising, door-to-door fundraising, trying to encourage the people to help their peers back home. As a student in Columbus, Ohio State, I told myself the only way to do better in school is to be involved with student organization and leadership capacity, not only with Somali organizations. I went outside the scope, outside the community. I was part of United Nations Student Alliance. When I started college, I told myself the best way to better yourself is to involve in extracurricular activities. That means join a student organization. For me, I went outside the scope. Not only joined the Somali student organization, I joined other student organizations because there's a lot of diversity in college, and that's the best way to advance as a person. Currently, right now, I used to intern in United Nations Association Columbus chapter the last 3 years. Now I'm a board member at large, and also assistant to the president of the local chapter. I also, for the last 3 years, been involved with Columbus Council World Affairs, and I've worked at Ethiopian Tewahedo Social Services, where I helped with leadership programs with Leader Spark as a facilitator to youth programs in that organization. I've also volunteered and worked with Somali documentary project with Abdurrabla and Tariq Tariq and Dog, and try and raise awareness to the Somali population here and about the refugee crisis back in Africa. The reason why I try to involve myself in the community and doing what I'm doing right now is because it's like a passion for me. When I remember 2 years ago, on January 15th, every year they have a MLK Day of Service. We went to a nursing home. I remember for a day, spend a day with the elders. For me, something like that, you get gratification at the end, and I like to help my people. And for me, community is where everything starts, and especially in Central Ohio, I see Columbus as a microcosm of what the United States is. You find every ethnic group here, and there's a lot of diversity. And as a Somali, this is like home, second home to me, because we have a lot of Somalis here, and from all the regions of Somalia, and I love it here. My advice to the youth is spend your time wisely. I know as youth we have a lot of time. Use that time to better yourself and better your community, because once you better your community, you're going to better yourself. And don't be involved only within your community. Go outside the community and venture out. That way you bridge the communities together, because if you stay within a community, within your own sphere of the community, your community won't learn a lot about other cultures. But once you venture out, you bring everyone back in, and they learn more about your culture, your religion. That way you avoid all the problems that associated with not understanding where you came from, things like that. One of the programs that I'm involved in is Learn With Me Minority Scholarship, where we started last year. This scholarship fund was started by my peers. Some of them are former alumni of High State, current students, some of the business owners here in Columbus. We usually used to meet every Friday and discuss what's the best way to better our community. And we came up with the education sector as a key in advancing our community. So last September, at High State University, we launched our first minority scholarship, where we awarded 4 minority high school students from Columbus Public Schools. We awarded them $500 each. We have a few criteria, like the GPA, and they had to be college bound. And last year we picked 3 students. A Somali student from Mifflin High School, he's going to Ohio State University. An African American student from Centennial High School, she's going to school in North Carolina. And a girl from the Dominican Republic, she's going to school in Akron. Those 3 students, we invited them to the ceremony last year. Some of them couldn't make it, but we had their parents there accept the $500 check. One thing we're looking for is they have to be involved in the community, because we're trying to give back to the community. And the parents, at the awards ceremony, they're happy at what we're doing, because as a college student, I remember $500 will help you go a lot with all the needs, education expenses, things like that. I hope this program continues in the near future. I remember we raised $1,500 just by selling T-shirts at an annual soccer tournament that's held here in Columbus every spring.